just a few minutes here to see who pops on. We have some fun things planned, you guys, today for a little summer reading treat. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but again, I have started every day at 10 o'clock posting videos. Again, of some fun things that we're doing. Now, this year's summer reading theme is called Imagine Your Story. Now, when I think about imagining my story, what would I want? Fairy wings, for sure. Let's see. Big castle with a swimming pool. And oh my gosh, so many other fun things. I want to hear what you would do if you could imagine your own story. Today, though, we're going to read about a story that's already been done. You ever heard of Jack and the Beanstalk? Well, I got my beanstalk right here, right? Threw out some beans. So the story goes that Jack needed to go and sell his cow. His mom and him were really poor, so they had to go sell their cow to get some money so they could eat. And instead, Jack got caught by a special somebody that gave him what she said were magic beans. When Jack got home, his mom got so mad, she threw the beans out the window, sent Jack to his room. Jack was so sad, you guys, because he thought he was doing something really good for him and his mom. Well, turns out it was really good. The next morning, a beanstalk grew and grew and grew from those beans. And so Jack climbed it. And what did Jack find? He found gold, golden eggs. He found a harp. He found lots of things. But he also found a giant. So Jack finally, after the giant big five bombed on him, he ran out of the house and ran down the beanstalk and chopped down the beanstalk before the giant could get to him. So this story did end pretty good. According to, no, this is Jack's story. Now, I don't know, but maybe some other people have stories. Maybe Jack has a different story. I don't know. If you watch on Monday, the post that I did on Monday, you'll see that the giant has his own story. And today we are going to read another fun story. It is called It's Not Jack the Beanstalk. And it's a really funny play on the original story. So this one is written by Josh Funk and illustrated by Edwin Taylor. And you guys, Josh Funk is super, super duper becoming one of my most favorite authors. His books make me laugh out loud all the time. And he always has amazing illustrators doing his artwork. So I just love it. The books come to life. So if you pick up any Josh Funk books or see any, you should pick them up. They're great. Once upon a time, Jack lived in a tiny cottage in a dreary village. He always dreamed that someday he would find his fortune. Psst! Jack, wake up! No, I'm dreaming. And put on some pants. Jack had no possessions other than a single cow. Unfortunately, this cow stopped giving milk, so Jack took her to the village market to sell her. But Bessie's my best friend. I didn't write the story, Jack. I'm just telling it. I'm so sorry, Bessie Cowpoke McPinwheel. Jack was offered 5 beans in exchange for his cow. 5 beans? That stinks. And beans make me toot. Jack, they're magic beans. Magic? Will they grant wishes? I wish I had my cow back. Jack tried to figure out how to make the magic beans work. Abracadabra. Bibbidi-boppity. Shazam! I should have asked for instruction manual. Jack grew so frustrated and angry that he threw the beans out the window. But I'm so hungry. Can I eat one? No, I said. Jack grew so frustrated and angry that he threw the beans out the window. And then he went to bed. Aw, but I'm not tired. This story keeps getting worse and worse. Jack woke the next morning to find that an enormous beanstalk had grown right where the magic beans had landed. Whoa! It's a good thing I didn't eat those beans. Jack began climbing the beanstalk. You're joking, right? No, Jack, you have to climb the beanstalk. Yikes! Can I grab at least my climbing gear? No, I said you had no possessions. Arr. Will you make it shorter then? I'm not climbing it unless you change the size. Fine. Seriously? Jack climbed for hours and began to grow tired. I'm not so tired. All that cow's milk over the years made me strong. I think I can see Cinderella's castle. Despite being so incredibly tired, Jack climbed on. Hey, Cindy, it's kind of a long... Jack, what are you doing? It's kind of a long story. Can you tell me tonight? I'm hosting a ball at my palace. Let me check. Hey, is this story going to end soon? Cindy invited me to a ball. Stop talking and keep climbing. But she throws the best parties. When Jack arrived at the top of the beanstalk, he found himself in front of a humongous house. I bet a giant lives there. Jack entered the house. Are you sure about that? Yes, Jack definitely entered the house. Everything inside the house was tremendously large. Spoiler alert, a giant lives here. Can I go home now? Suddenly, Jack heard a booming voice. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. That doesn't even rhyme. How about fee, fi, fo, fum, I see the giant's bum? Are you making fun of me? No, I only try to help you rhyme better. Plus, technically, I am from Scotland. Would you please stop chit-chatting? I am telling the story here. Fine, Mr. Cranky Pants. The giant noticed that Jack was stealing his bag of gold coins, his goose that laid golden eggs, and his magic harp. You're stealing from me. No, how could I carry all that stuff? Jack had finally found his fortune, but before he could get away with it, the giant snatched him up. Ah! Let me go! I knew I never should have climbed that beanstalk. The giant carried Jack to the kitchen. Be he alive or he dead, I'll grind his bones to make him bread. That's a much better rhyme. Thanks, I'm working on it. You know, there's a good chance that you're going to die at the end of this story. Really? Is that true? Jack, shh, don't tell him that. Let's just continue the story. The giant. I don't want to die. Neither do I. Do you have to eat me? Actually, I'm vegan. Enough! Giant, you're supposed to accidentally set Jack free and chase him down the beanstalk. Jack, you're supposed to get your axe and chop down the beanstalk. Where am I getting an axe? You said I had no possessions. You know, I like being called Giant. I do have a name. It's Fred. Hey, are you hungry? Yes, Fred, I haven't eaten since the story started. It's been all climb this beanstalk and steal that gold. This is not how the story is supposed to go. I have a delicious recipe for taco salad. Great. You can use some beans from our beanstalk outside. That's it. I'm ending the story right now. The end. Hey, Cinderella's having a party. Wanna come? Oh, I like parties. Thanks for coming to my party. This taco salad is delicious. How did you two meet? No, I already ended the story. The end, the end, the end. Well, I lived in a tiny cottage in a dreary village. I always dreamed that someday I could find my fortune. Wait a minute. Those are my lines. I'm telling the story. That's my job. And on our way here, Fred offered to share his fortune with me. We've decided that we are going to open a restaurant called Where Have You Been? Well, sir, only beans. And now we'll live happily ever after. You've completely ruined everything. Oh, wait, it all worked out. I mean, it all worked out exactly as I planned. And they all lived happily ever after. Jack already said that. Ugh, the end. At least you finally got one thing right. This time, the real end. What do you guys think? Did you like that story? Kind of funny how Jack was being kind of silly with the narrator, who was me, right? Saying the other parts of the story. So kind of fun. I have one more, and this one's really short, you guys. And then we are going to do an experiment. And you're going to love this. So let's finish this one real quick. This is called Jack the Giant Killer, and it is by Melky Doyle and Graham Phillip. Just another perspective on the story. Once upon a time in Britain, there was a huge and horrible giant. He lived on an island called St. Michael's Mount. Every now and again, the giant would come down to the village and steal the people's cows and their hogs, their sheep and their dogs. Soon they had hardly any food left. One of the villagers was a brave boy called Jack. I'm going to deal with that giant, said Jack to his friends. That night, when everyone was sleeping, Jack crept out of the house. With his spade in one hand and his horn in the other, he climbed up the hill. When Jack got to the giant's lair, he dug a great hole in the ground at the front of the cave. Then he covered it with sticks and straw. Jack waited by the hole, and as the sun rose, he pulled out his horn and he blew it. Who's making all that noise? I'm trying to sleep, roared the giant from inside the cave. Jack blew his horn again, even louder. If you don't stop now, whoever you are, roared the giant, I'll come out there and eat you for breakfast. But Jack marched right up to the mouth of the cave, where the giant was sure to see him, and blew his horn even louder still. I warned you, boomed the mighty giant. He bounded to the mouth of the cave and was just about to grab Jack and rip his head off when... Arrgh! He yelled, dropping into the pit. Before the giant could do a thing about it, Jack grabbed his spade, took a mighty swing, and whacked him on the head. Arrgh! Yelled the giant again. He reached out to grab hold of Jack and pull him into the pit. But Jack skipped out of the way and swung his spade and whacked him once more. This time he killed the mighty giant, stone dead. I've done it, cried Jack. I've saved the village! He ran into the giant's cave to see what he could find. There, gleaming in the corner, was a treasure chest full of gold and silver. When Jack came back down to the village with the giant's treasure chest, everyone was amazed. Hurrah! They yelled. Hooray for Jack the Giant Killer! And this was his name from that day on. The end. So, kind of another silly story, but a take on it. Now, I'm going to move you guys here because, you know, I think a giant probably has some stinky breath. And if you have stinky breath, well, what do? You brush your teeth. So I thought it was only appropriate that we make giant toothpaste today. So I gotta set this up so you guys can see. This is a super, super duper fun experiment that we are going to do. I want you guys to see really well because it's so fun. So you need a couple certain special ingredients, and the one main really special ingredient is a special hydrogen peroxide. This is actually Salon Volume 20 that I have here. You're going to need anything, just the regular hydrogen peroxide that you get at like the drugstore isn't strong enough. So you can order it. You can order it on Amazon. You can get it from your local beauty parlor shop. They can get you some maybe. This is fun. Oh, we're gonna make it go blah. So what else you need is some warm water. I warmed this up before I started reading so that it had a little bit of time to cool. You don't want it super hot, just nice and warm. Then you're gonna want some just instant yeast. Okay, I've got another bowl here because I'm going to catch all my ingredients. And I'm also sitting on a tablecloth just in case it gets really, really crazy and goes over. Then you just need, I just have some regular dish soap. Any dish soap will work. We always need our fun colors. So we're going to make it colorful. Because that's just what we do, you guys. And then you're going to need some bottles. I got 2 bottles because, well, we had to do it twice, right? It's only fun. So 2 bottles, obviously 2 different sizes with a nice wide mouth on it. And you're going to need your 1/2 cup measuring cup. And then I have a funnel just to help us pour it in. Okay, so let's get started. We have our measuring cups, and into just another jar here, we are going to start by doing 2 tablespoons. That's the big T, the big tablespoon of warm water. I'm going to just put that in here. All right, 2 tablespoons warm water to 1 teaspoon, that's the little t, of yeast. Now, that's going to act as, here's a really crazy big word, our catalyst. I know, crazy word. Basically, what it means, it's going to speed up the reaction that we're going to make, okay? So, what I want to do now is I'm going to stir that up just a little bit. Okay. Again, very little stir. You don't want to stir too much. And then I'm going to just actually give it a swish around. Hopefully it didn't. Let me get it off the side of the jar there. So I want it to activate. It's going to make it a mess there. Okay, let's see. Give it a little swish there. And I'm going to set it to the side here while I make all our other ingredients. I'm going to take our small bottle this time and put it in the middle of our, oops, can't see there, can you? You're going to want to see. That's so fun. Okay, put it in the middle. And then I'm going to take our hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide made up of hydrogen and oxygen. A little fun fact. Put our funnel in just to help us. I'm going to do 1/2 cup of this into our bottle. Okay, so I've got that now. Now that I've got the hydrogen and the peroxide in there, I'm going to add just a regular little squirt, okay, first I'm going to do our food coloring. I am a huge fan of green, so I'm going to do green. You can do whatever color you want. I mean, you don't even need a color, but color always helps make it fun. Okay, so there we go. I've got my bottle, hydrogen peroxide, and my green food coloring. And then I'm going to do just a squirt, okay, of my dish soap. Basically, the reason you want the dish soap is so that it creates bigger bubbles. And the reason you want the food coloring, because it just looks cool. There's really no reason why you need food coloring. But you do need all the other ingredients. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, now that our this is set for just a second, I'm a little nervous that I didn't get enough in there, but we'll see. We'll see if it works. That's why we have another bottle. We're going to do this one more time because it's so fun. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to pour our mixture. Remember, the catalyst, the enzymes that live in the yeast speed up the reaction. So I'm going to pour those now into our bottle to make toothpaste. Because if we bought just like some regular toothpaste at the grocery store, we would need like a whole lot. Because obviously, a giant brushes his teeth with this kind of toothbrush. So how are you going to get toothpaste from all over here? You have to make it, right? Yep, here we go. It worked. Okay, do you guys see how it's foaming? Now here's what's really cool. Now the bottle is super covered, but when the foam kind of settles down, you can feel the bottle, and the reaction causes the bottle to have just a little bit of heat. So the bottle's actually going to be kind of warm from the reaction. Now this is going to kind of go and go. And when you touch it, it's really thick. And look at how it leaves even my impression in there. Isn't that so crazy? Woo! Woo! That is so fun. Okay, now we don't just do things little around here. I thought it was important that we probably, I don't know, triple the recipe. See what happens? So here we go. We're going to triple it. I have an even bigger bucket to catch the foam because watch, it's still foaming, you guys. It's still going. So I have a bigger bucket. I have a little bit bigger bottle, which will make a difference too. But, you know, let's give her a shot, okay? So I'm going to get our yeast mixture set up. So we're doing it 3 times. We added 2 of these last time, so I'm going to take 3 times 2, and I need 6 of these. So help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Now I needed 1 teaspoon last time. So since I'm tripling it again, 1 times 3 is 3. So I'm going to get 3. Oops, was 1. Set that down. I'm going to get some more here. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think there's 2 tablespoons in each one of these, but still you'll need to measure because we just need a teaspoon. Two, whew, and 3. There we go. Okay, so now that we have that, we are going to just swirl it this time. I'm going to just give it a little swirl to kind of incorporate it instead of mixing it. I think that'll make a big difference in just helping the yeast. So we don't break it down or destroy the molecules of the yeast. Help it a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks already much better. So you can kind of just see it looks kind of icky and gross. I wouldn't drink that. So we'll set that to the side. And then 3 times I needed 3. I'm going to need 3 half a cups, which is 1.5 cups, correct? So we just need, I just have my half a cup, so we'll do that 3 times. 1. 2. Oh. And here we go with 1 more. 3. All right. fun. Some dish soap, remember? Give it a good squirt. Okay, that should be good. And then, I don't know, do you guys want to do a different color? Maybe let's do blue this time. You want to do about at least 5 squirts because it does lighten up a little bit. Okay, now that we got that, I am actually going to, I think we can. All right, give our yeast one more little stir, and move it back real good so you guys can see. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! That I don't think already would have made it in our other bucket. This bucket's pretty full. And you can feel how warm it is. So now I'm gonna, woof! Uh-oh, my toothbrush broke. I'm gonna go get that giant and I'm gonna go brush his teeth. I hope you guys had fun with it. If you need some hydrogen peroxide and you don't have any at home and you want to try this, give me a holler and I will get a baggie of a half a cup of hydrogen peroxide ready for you to go. So just let me know if you need some. This is probably going to go, look at already, look at how full it's filling our container already. And as you saw, this one went on for quite some time. So some pretty exciting things. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Tomorrow and the next day, there will be posts for some fun things. Thanks everybody for doing the jelly bean challenge with me. I'll have some more fun things like that posted again throughout next week and the following weeks. So join me again. We'll have regular story time at 3 o'clock today, but join me again next Wednesday for another fun summer reading story time. Thanks for watching, you guys.